So this is just explaining that my goal here is sustained DPS, not burst. And I want to identify what stacks, what doesn't stack. I put together a chart to help me understand that. And based on this chart, that's how I've come up with my monk system. So the first thing I do is I front load most of my damage into two disciplines. Heal of Zagali, so heal and speed focus discipline, because they actually stack with quite a bit. Whereas if you'll notice, Terrapalm discipline, Earth Force discipline, Eye of the Storm, they stack. You can use them at the same time, but you're not necessarily getting the full benefit of all of their damage modifiers, because in all Infusion of Thunder, Spire of the Sensei, Vehement Range, and Intensity Resolute all increase base hit damage, as does Terrapalm Discipline, Earth Force Discipline, and Eye of the Storm. So if you're going for maximum sustained damage, as opposed to a very high burst, maybe you're killing a boss mob or something in 3 minutes, then you're going to want to stagger your base hit damage modifiers so that they're always being used, as opposed to overlapping them so only one of them is being used. So if I trigger Heal of Zagali, then I'm going to hit my number pad 1, which is this hotkey here. And it's going to trigger Focus, Destructive Force, Infusion of Thunder, Spire of the Sensei, Heron Stance, and it's going to use my breastplate click. And all of those synergize nicely. There's no overlap. And so you hit that and they pop off if they're up. If they're not up, then, they're down. When Heal expires and I go to Speed Focus, there's going to be some overlap. I'll again do Infusion of Thunder, Spire of the Sensei, Reciprocal Form I preserve for this, Tiger Symmetry, and the Tunic. These have a fairly fast refresh time, and depending on how you're going, it may end up that they're up. And so they'll get triggered again, even though you also trigger them with Heal. And so you would hit those and trigger those. I tend to Iron of Fist discipline stacks nicely with these, so you can hit that up while they're still burning, and you go to that. So you go to Iron Fist, whatever's still burning, no problem. These are this line here. These are all your higher damage disciplines, but your filler is Eye of the Storm. I don't tend to waste much of my it doesn't stack with Infusion of Thunder, Spire, Vehement Rage, or Intensity of the Resolute. So I just run those by themselves, but 5-point works fine. Tonpo stance, if it's down, you can use that. And the same with Earth Force, and the same with Counter-Strike. It's not really, it's just a survivor thing. Now, each of these disciplines, when you're going to do Heal, so you hit Heal, you start that discipline, you do the number pad 1 Heal, this social key to trigger all of these. You're also going to want to, if you have available, like say I group with a Ranger and a Bard. So when I first start off with Heal, my Ranger will hit Auspice. And when that fades, my Bard will do Fierce Eye and Visagran. Again, because those all stack, it gives me crit bonuses. When that fades, I don't work with a Shaman, but Ruchu, Prophet's Gift would be great. If that's not up, I might do Circle of Power. If I'm soloing, I'll lead with Circle of Power, because I want a crit booster, and my crit boosters are Auspice, Circle of Power, Shaman Epic, Fierce Eye, and Intensity of the Resolute. And Intensity of the Resolute you can use once every 4 hours. It's a nice crit booster. So throw that in. I would not use intensity of the Resolute with, your secondary disciplines, Terra Palm, Earth Force, or Eye of the Storm. And again, that's going to the chart, and that's kind of guiding you how to do it. Doesn't matter if you get it wrong. Vehement Rage, because it doesn't stack with a lot, I tend to just use it on its own. Like it's not stacking with what I've got here because I've got all these goodies up. So you can't even necessarily, but it's there. It is an extra 15% damage. It's a nice booster. And so use it as part of your like filler. When you're in between your big discs, maybe throw in Vehement Rage if everything else is expired. So that's kind of my standard system. And I'm not looking at, these are my my mash key here. And I'll show you my multi-bind just for, there's not much to it. Doability 1 is Intimidation. And then all of these precision strikes are done in order where they stack. It's a little extra DPS, not much. So I've got 4 of those. If you were running out of endurance, perhaps you would not use those, but I find that endurance usually isn't a big issue for me. It may be later. Anything else in the system? I think that covers it.